Don't waste money buying a brand new remote right away. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Maker Mike channel. When a remote stops working, do you usually replace it immediately? Or take a moment to see if it can be fixed? Today, this video walks through a simple repair you can do at home with basic tools. It does not take much time, and it can save real money. Watch until the end to see how this small fix brings the remote back to life. Sit down at the table and press several buttons while watching the small indicator light on the remote. Under normal conditions, the light turns on with every press. This time, the light stays off, which confirms the remote does not send a signal. Slide both batteries out of the holder and place them on the table. Turn on the multimeter and set it to DC voltage. Measure the first battery, then measure the second one. Both readings show 0 voltage. These batteries have no usable charge left. Search around the house for replacement batteries. Check drawers, shelves, and storage boxes. No matching batteries appear. Instead of stopping here, move to a simple recovery step that sometimes helps lightly used batteries. Take the drained batteries outside and place them under direct sunlight. Lay them flat so sunlight reaches the surface evenly. Leave the batteries in the sun for about 3 hours. Heat helps stimulate internal chemical activity and can restore a small amount of voltage for testing. After 3 hours, bring the batteries back inside and place them on the table. Measure each battery again with the multimeter. The screen now shows voltage. The numbers remain low, but no longer show 0. Insert the batteries back into the remote and press the power button again. The indicator light still does not turn on, which points to another issue inside the remote. Your idea might inspire a future video, so take a moment to leave it in the comments. Grab a small screwdriver and remove the screws from the back cover. Work slowly along the seam and separate the two halves of the plastic case. Inside the remote, dust and dirt cover the parts. The rubber keypad looks worn, and the circuit board shows dull contact points. Years of use allow skin oil, dust, and pocket lint to build up inside the case. This buildup blocks electrical contact even when the electronics still work. Pour a small amount of ethanol into a cup. Dip a cotton swab into the liquid and start cleaning the rubber keypad first. Wipe the round contact pads under each button using slow, gentle motion. Dark residue transfers onto the cotton swab almost immediately. That residue explains why button presses fail to register. Continue cleaning the rubber keypad with steady, careful movement. Focus on one button area at a time and wipe in small circles so the cotton reaches the full contact surface. Watch the cotton tip closely when dark residue builds up. Stop and replace it with a clean swab right away. A dirty swab spreads grime instead of removing it. Dip the new swab lightly into ethanol and keep working. Take time with this step. Clean rubber contacts improve signal transfer and help every button respond more reliably after reassembly. Move on to the circuit board next and clean each contact pad gently with a fresh swab. Dip it into ethanol and clean the contact pads on the circuit board. Follow the printed contact circles carefully and avoid using too much liquid. Gentle strokes remove oxidation and grime without damaging components. Use a paper towel lightly dampened with ethanol to clean the inside of the plastic shell. Wipe corners, edges, and button openings where dirt often hides and restricts movement. Finish by cleaning the lower plastic shell. Wipe away dust and sticky residue from the corners, edges, and button openings. Use slow, controlled strokes and replace the cloth when it gets dirty so the inside stays clean and allows smooth button movement after assembly. Set all parts aside for a short moment and allow the ethanol to evaporate completely. Begin testing before full reassembly. Place the circuit board back into the lower shell and insert the batteries. Lay the rubber keypad on top without closing the case yet. Press several buttons one by one while watching the indicator light. Most buttons cause the light to turn on. Press the power button next. The light does not turn on. This test isolates the problem clearly. The circuit board works. The batteries supply power, and the fault sits in the power button pad. Remove the rubber keypad again and use a small metal paper clip. Touch the two contact points on the circuit board where the power button connects. The indicator light turns on immediately. That confirms the circuit board functions correctly. Identify the fault at the power button on the rubber keypad. Other buttons trigger the indicator light, but the power button shows no response. This clear difference confirms the problem sits in that single rubber contact, not in the circuit board or the battery. Switch the multimeter to continuity mode and test several rubber button pads. Most pads show continuity when pressed. Test the power button pad last. No reading appears. The conductive layer on that pad has worn away, which happens often on the most frequently used button. Reach for a regular pencil and rub the pencil tip across the surface of the power button pad. Allow fine graphite dust to fall evenly onto the contact area. Graphite conducts electricity and restores contact when applied carefully. Place the rubber keypad back onto the circuit board and press the power button again. The indicator light turns on. The button works again. Continue testing by pressing several other buttons to confirm stable operation. Each press triggers the indicator light without delay. The graphite dust works as intended and restores proper contact. The power button on the rubber keypad responds again. With the fix confirmed, place all parts back into position and reassemble the remote carefully so every button sits right and works smoothly. Place the circuit board into the front shell and align it with the internal guides. Make sure every metal contact lines up correctly. Close the plastic case carefully and press along the edges until every clip snaps into place. Walk over to the TV and stand at normal viewing distance. Press the power button. The TV turns on right away. Press other buttons to confirm proper response. Volume changes smoothly and channels switch as expected. Simple cleaning, careful testing, and a pencil solve the problem. With patience and basic tools, everyday devices often return to full function. Press like if this repair helped today. Subscribe for more practical DIY fixes that work at home. Leave a comment and share which device needs repair next.